Can you imagine having a hometown, a place your family has called home for centuries that you just can't visit anymore? Today, we're diving into the story of one such family. Their roots are deep in a land that's now part of North Korea, a home that now only exists in memory. It's a powerful story about how a legacy survives even when its home is lost.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's the central question for so many families who've been divided by history. It's all about identity, memory, and what we leave behind. And today, we're going to see exactly how one clan answered that very question.
So let's go there, at least in our minds. Our story starts in a place called Kwangdeok-myeon in Kapong County. For generations, this was a really vibrant community, home to a lot of distinguished families, each with its own incredible history carved right into the land.
You see, Kwangdeok-myeon was this rich tapestry of different clans. You had various branches of the Kim, Byun, Lee, Jun, and Choi families all living there. But our story today zooms in on one in particular, the Andong Kwon clan, and their really incredible journey through history.
Now, just a quick heads up, we're going deep on the Andong Kwon clan today. But their story is actually part of a much bigger picture we started painting in Kwangdeok-myeon Reminiscences14. So if you're curious about the other families in this area, you might want to check that one out first. It'll give you some great context for what we're about to get into. All right, so to understand how the Kwon clan even ended up in Kwangdeok-myeon, we have to jump in a time machine and go way, way back. Over 1,000 years, actually, to the founding of the Goryeo dynasty, the kingdom that first unified the Korean peninsula. This is where it all begins. Let's meet the founder. His name was Hang Kim. Now, the first thing you might notice is his name, Kim, not Kwon. And you're right. He was originally from the Jongsung Kim clan, a noble family in the old Silla kingdom, which came before Goryeo, but a huge moment in history was about to change his name and his entire destiny forever. Picture this. The Silla dynasty is crumbling, things are chaotic, and you've got to pick a side. Hang Kim made a choice. He threw all his support behind the general named Hwang Gyeon, the man who would become King Taejo, the founder of the Goryeo dynasty. He fought right beside him in a key battle, and that decision earned him the new king's immense gratitude.
And when I say immense gratitude, I mean it. King Taejo gave him this incredibly prestigious and very long title. To put that in perspective for today, it was basically like being named president or prime minister. This wasn't just a pat on the back. This was a seat at the highest level of power in this brand new kingdom.
But that's not all. Along with the fancy title came this incredibly rare and powerful gift, something called a psych-up. Now, this wasn't just a plot of land. It was the right to govern that land completely, to collect all the taxes, all the income. It was the ultimate reward, basically handing you your own personal domain.
So just how rare was this honor? Well, in the entire history of that period, only 3 people were ever given a psych-up. Just 3. And Hang Kim was one of them. That tells you everything, right? This wasn't just a reward for being a supporter, it was a thank you for being a kingmaker. So that incredible foundation laid by Hang Kim allowed the Andong Kwon clan to really grow and thrive for centuries. Now let's fast forward and follow one specific branch of this powerful family as they put down new roots in the very place our story started, Kwangdeok-myeon. Okay, so look at this. This is like a 600-year journey in a single glance. The clan gets its start in the 10th century. Over the next 600 years, it just explodes, expanding into 15 major branches or factions. And then, right around the year 1668, a man named Hwang Kwon makes a move that will define his family's home for the next 3 centuries. So, the man who brought the Kwon clan to this specific area, Dongmuri, was Hwang Kwon. He came from the Chumel faction of the clan, and he had a pretty distinguished lineage himself. He was a descendant of the legendary military hero, General Yul Kwon. So, around 1668, Hwang Kwon packed up his family and moved from the bustling Mapo area, which is part of modern-day Seoul. They settled in Dongmuri and basically became pioneers, cultivating undeveloped land and turning it into the ancestral home that their family would cherish for hundreds of years. For nearly 300 years, the Dongmyeon Kwon clan lived and thrived on the land that Hwang Kwon had pioneered. But in the middle of the 20th century, a storm was gathering that would rip their world and their country apart. The Korean War was about to violently uproot this centuries-old legacy. When the war finally ended and the armistice line was drawn, the Kwon clan's home was suddenly on the other side of a border they could not cross. Around 100 households were displaced, forced to leave absolutely everything they had ever known behind.
Scattered, separated from their ancestral land,
What could they do? The family members resettled wherever they could, in nearby areas like Kwangdeok and Kaesong, and some went further south to Seoul. A family that had been rooted in one single place for centuries was suddenly scattered across the map.
But this isn't where the story ends. Not even close. Remember that question from the beginning? How do you keep a story alive when you can't go home? Well, the descendants of the Daengmyeori Kwon clan were determined they would not let their history just fade into nothing.
Their answer came in 3 really powerful actions. First, Dr. Youngdae Kwon took on the job of organizing, creating a group called the Sabuho to find and reconnect all the scattered descendants. Then, Mr. Youngwon Kwon focused on honoring the past, establishing a burial site for 257 ancestors and starting annual rites back in 1988. And finally, to make sure the story would never, ever be lost, Mr. Taeson Kwon became the historian, meticulously recording the clan's entire legacy.
This quote, it really captures the feeling inside the family. It's this deep, deep gratitude for the work of preservation. Because, these records aren't just names and dates on a page. They are the lifeline back to a home they can no longer touch, a story that simply refuses to be forgotten.
And really, this brings it all back to us. The story of the Andong clan is such a powerful reminder that history isn't just something in books. It's personal, it's alive, and it's inside our own families. Through their incredible efforts to organize, honor, and record, they literally saved their story from being lost to time. And it kind of makes you wonder, what piece of your own family's history is out there just waiting to be preserved?